But do let us know, first of all, what you thought of the game last week.
Well, thanks for having me on again. Really appreciate it. As for last week's game, it kind of went the way that I expected it to go. In all fairness, I did say I thought it was going to be a 1-1 draw, but that was my heart talking more than anything. To be honest, as I said on the pod, West Ham are levels ahead in terms of ability, fitness, stamina, and let's get it right. Ajax put in a very, very good effort. It was a valiant effort, especially second half, but effectively the game was over when Antonio scored the second goal, which is a peach of a goal. And they kind of played the way they expected them to do, trying to get balls in the box, overload the box, put crosses from wide areas. But look, the golfing class was there to be seen, mate. Honestly, it was blatantly obvious. And I fear for them second leg, especially what's been happening the past couple of days with that club.
Yeah, well, I mean, what for those listeners of ours who don't know, what's sort of been going on, what's been going down?
Well, they played yesterday against Apollon, the club that won the title last season, and they've had a very, very odd season. They're into their fourth head coach, and they've had issues on and off the field, be it fans setting fire to the stadium, be it a whole load of drama. They want the board to resign. The board have basically said they're going to resign at the end of the season, although the president is still umming and ahhing about it. But anyway, that's another club. But Ajax played them last night, and Ajax needed to win to go top, or at least stay in contention of winning the title, because they've dropped off since drawing West Ham, believe it or not. And they lost 1-0, but they were down to 10 men after 8 minutes. They had the player Gus Ledez sent off for a really reckless challenge. And I put that down to fatigue more than anything. And in the 92nd minute, they had another player sent off for basically grabbing another player by the throat. And it's like they're losing the plot. You can tell that the energy levels aren't what they were at the beginning of the season. You can tell the players are getting frustrated. And to compound their misery, their technical director, Xavi Roca, was accused by the fourth official of assaulting him. Now, prior to me jumping on this particular pod, I was actually watching a statement given by Xavi Roca at the airport before Larnaca left to come to London. And he basically said, look, this fourth official is lying. He basically put his hands on me and I pushed him away. And he's in his referee's report, he made 3 accusations which aren't true. So this is gonna rumble on for a long time. And look, I support a club in Cyprus called Omonia, and our rivals are Apoel. And there's this notion by many clubs in Cyprus that Apoel have got the Cypriot FA in their back pocket, and because they're neck and neck with Ajax, okay, they're ahead of them by a couple of points. But other clubs are getting strange decisions go against them lately, and I'm not going to go into it because people are going to say, "Oh, you're not being impartial." But you're getting a lot of people questioning what's happening in Cyprus now, and I'm pretty sure that Ajax will be releasing a few statements in the coming days, especially after the West Ham game. So there's a lot of drama in Cyprus, mate. There's a lot of drama.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, to be honest, obviously, aside from all that, and you gave us a taste of it last week when you were on, that it's a bit of it's quite eventful, shall we say, Cypriot football, week in, week out, lots of stuff going on and off the pitch. I'll be honest, though, I thought, you've mentioned the golfing class. Look, it's good of you, refreshing to call it as it is. There's no sort of, I don't think anyone was being too condescending from the West Ham side. I think it was clear West Ham, I would argue, won that game probably in third gear or whatever. But overall, I thought sort of atmosphere, occasion, stadium, like the football and all that, I put up a pretty good advert for Cypriot football.
Yeah, up until the goal, I think they played very well, in all fairness. But they're a naive team still, and that's because of the way that they play. They were caught on the counter-attack on numerous occasions, and if it weren't for the final ball not being good enough from West Ham's perspective, or the finishing not being good enough, it would have been 4 or 5-0 by half time, and it could have been more. And I know Antonio hit the post at the beginning of the second half. That would have wrapped up the tie. You know, I mean, I still think it's done anyway, but that would have completely put the nail in the coffin. But again, I think they conducted themselves well, but at the same time, I think West Ham played in second gear for most of that game. And there were occasions in the second half where you could see gaps in between West Ham's midfield and the defenders. And I'm thinking, you guys need to exploit it, but they just weren't doing it. And it was the same predictable system that Ajax have been playing all season, get the ball out wide and try to hit them. But look, there are some players that I believe can hold their head up high. I think Rosales, who played right wing, he's actually a right back. and he played right wing to prevent the crosses coming in from the left-hand side. And ironically, it was his slip that let the cross come in the box, which Antonio finished. So I think they did well, in all fairness. But again, as I mentioned, the golfing class is too much, man. But yeah, it's a great adventure for the club, and it's a historical game for them. So
yeah,
in all fairness, when a Cypriot team comes up against a big club, majority of the time they think, well, we're not going to get anything out of it, but it's the experience. I know West Ham have got a link with Baralimni as well, which is another club in Cyprus. So for them to have an English club, a Premier League club coming to Cyprus, it's massive for them. And obviously there's money coming in from TV revenue and gate receipts, etc., etc. So, and look, there was no trouble, which is great.
No, no.
Which is fantastic.
What do you make of that game Thursday then, this return leg? How do you think Larnaca will approach that? Is it, you mentioned the stuff that's going on in the league, and they're hunting a domestic title, their first one for quite a long time. Do you, after the first leg, do they sort of go, oh, okay, kind of out of this, and do they prioritize the league again, or how do you think they're going to approach it?
Well, I think it's going to be much of the same as the first leg, in all fairness. I can't see them, firing on all cylinders and just going for the throat straight away, because it would be foolish for them to do so. They'll get caught on the counter-attack, they'll get ripped to shreds, and it could be a cricket score by half-time.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I don't think they're going to play this defensive style of football. It's going to be similar to what they did in the first leg. But at the same time, you never know. In the last 20 minutes, or maybe in the last half an hour, if it's still 0-0 and 2-0 in aggregate, will they go full pelt? I really don't know. But look, it's a special occasion for them. And look, London Stadium, no Cypriot club has ever been there. And I'm pretty sure there's loads of Cypriots in London anyway. So I'm guessing there's going to be a high allocation of away fans. And from what I've heard, there's still tickets available, general sale in the West Ham end, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, definitely, mate.
Home section. So I wouldn't be surprised if there's a lot of locals going there just for the opportunity to see a Cypriot team. They might not even be football, might even be casual fans, they might even not like football, but the fact that it's a Cypriot team coming to London, so yeah, it'll be just some kind of, it'll be like a testimonial.
I know.
I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Slim chance of it happening. Maybe West Ham being complacent, but I can't see that happening. I don't think David Moyes will allow that to happen.
No,
I don't think the players are unprofessional in that respect, that they'll take their foot off the gas, and they'll probably let Ajax play a little bit just to soak up a bit of pressure if they. But listen, I knew from the moment Antonio scored the first goal, I knew that West Ham had the handbrake up for the majority of the game. I know that, and I knew it was going to be like that, and they would have to turn up a gear if they needed to, but they didn't really have to, which is a shame. But as I said, second half, at least Ajax gave it a go. And again, I don't want to be patronising towards them. But look, at 2-0 down, they gave it their best, but clearly, even crossing in the box, it was being dealt with. Areola hardly had anything to do. I think they had more corners than West Ham. I think they had 14 or something like that. But if you don't have any clear-cut opportunities from set pieces, you don't deserve anything. But look, West Ham will go through, and Ajax, if they can prevent getting hammered, pardon the pun, they'll be happy.